Welcome back everyone to the Radiant Sports podcast with me, Sam, and today we're going to be talking mostly football. Obviously the final day of the Premier League season is almost upon us this Sunday. We're going to be going through some of the big fixtures from this weekend's games and especially the big talking points from last night's game between Man City and Tottenham, and we're going to sprinkle in a bit of boxing at the end. Obviously there's some super fights this weekend, might get into that little bit as well. And yeah, let's get straight into it. So start off, we'll get to the big fixtures of the weekend coming in the final day and the ramifications that they may have, but we need to talk about the ramifications that the games this weekend just gone have just had on the table and different outcomes and finishes for teams in the Premier League. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Obviously Man City have played 2 games over this game week. The first was Saturday, comfortable 4-0 drumming of Fulham. As expected, really. There's not much more to say about that apart from Guardiola's quality. Don't know why he hasn't been playing most of the season, but you don't know with Pep. Now he's getting a run of games and he seems quality left back, even though he's a centre back. But you know, Pep does Pep things. Otherwise, one of the main ones was Luton losing to West Ham, which pretty much seals their fate of relegation back down to the Championship. Really unfortunate for them. I think they went 1 up in the game. Let me just double check. Yeah, they went 1-0 up. But obviously West Ham were at home. Came back, Moyes' last home game. Came back to win 3-1. Devastating for Luton. Obviously, just amazing what they've done. I remember 5 years ago, they're in the same league as Cheltenham. I've seen them play at Cheltenham, which are my team now in Premier League. Gave it a real good go. Did better than anyone expected. Lots of people expect them to come rock bottom, break the lowest points record and everything. But no, they pushed Forest right to the edge. Obviously with the points deductions and stuff, not going Forest's way. But that loss has pretty much sealed their fate. And getting further into that, Forest also lost, however, to Chelsea 3-2. Good game on Saturday Night Football. But the issue is Luton are 3 points behind Forest as it stands. However, there is a huge gap of goal difference. So if Forest was to lose and Luton to win, what is it? It's almost a 12 goal swing needed in those games, and it's very unlikely to happen especially with who are they playing? Let me get to it. Luton have got Fulham at home, so it's winnable, but not by 5 or 6. And again, Forest got Burnley away, which Burnley as well, relegation has been sealed for them. So yeah, and it's very hard for Forest to get battered in that game too, knowing that. But yeah, pretty much sealed the fates of Luton. Burnley also down, and Sheffield United, as we already know, are down. And yeah, also Arsenal, a tight 1-0 win to Man United to keep the title race alive. Very much needed. Obviously it's one of those games, Man United are rubbish, but just one of those bigger teams where they seem to they don't even turn up, they just make the other team miserable and make it hard for them. But yeah, pretty much standout results that mean anything. Also Villa they drew 3-3 with Liverpool, a valuable point for them in their quest for Champions League, and in fact they have now officially qualified for Champions League due to Tottenham losing to Man City last night, which was the biggest game of the game week really. Man City ended up winning 2-0 against Tottenham. Haaland double. And yeah, very weird game. Very quiet in the stands, but as expected. It's one of those games where a lot of Tottenham fans, well now, aren't that upset about losing. And you want your football team to win, but I like one person said it was kind of a win-win. They either win the football game and maybe challenge for that Champions League spot. If they don't, it makes Arsenal's life and fans miserable. So yeah, some Tottenham fans wanting them to lose, but yeah, weird game. Obviously, again, Tottenham always make Man City work really hard, especially at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and again had to work really hard for it. And some key talking points, obviously City went 1-0 up with Haaland, then there was a Kanji mistake and Son was through 1-on-1. Ortega was in goal after Edson, I think, concussion substitute, or was out of it. He had a big welt coming up his eye after a collision with Romero earlier on. But Ortega really, he got man of the match after coming on in for like half an hour in goal. Made a couple of really big saves, and this was the most. Son threw one-on-one in goal, and Son couldn't put it away. Ortega saved it, big outstretched leg, which you have to say, if Tottenham got that goal back, I'm not sure City would have got anything else out of the game, because Tottenham made it really hard. Obviously the second's coming when Tottenham have to go for it, but yeah, Ortega really, people saying did he win them the league? Obviously a league's over, of course, for the season. Arsenal have lost games, City have won games, and the other way around, obviously. But if you're looking at it from now, that's one of the biggest moments for Man City winning the league in these last couple of games. And will be remembered for a while, I think, by City fans and maybe Arsenal fans alike for Son missing that effort on goal. But yeah, there's a few more games going on, but nothing really. There's obviously Chelsea, Brighton, and Man United, Newcastle tonight. Newcastle and Chelsea could win, and obviously catching Tottenham for some European places. Not entirely sure how many we get anymore, if it's the top 6 or top 7, but I need to double check on that. But yeah, they're going on tonight. However, the most important thing this Sunday, 4 o'clock, is the final game of the Premier League season. Many talking points. We'll start with the top. Obviously, if Man City beat West Ham, they're playing West Ham at home. If City win, league's theirs, 4 in a row, unbelievable achievement. Arsenal have got Everton at the Emirates. Arsenal just need to win. However, the obviously scenarios, if Arsenal win and Man City draw, Arsenal are champions again. If City win, it's in Man City's hands. If they win, they're champions. If they draw and Arsenal win, Arsenal are champions. If Arsenal draw and City lose, Man City are still champions. So many outcomes for that. And yeah, it's going to be exciting. Arsenal taking City down to the wire. It's been a while since Man City have been taken to the final games, and yeah, it's been a quality season, quality performances from Arsenal and City alike, and yeah, it's been very enjoyable, and hopefully more twists and turns in the final day for both those teams. Also, other talking points is Klopp's final game as Liverpool manager. Obviously, what a job he's done there. League and Champions League, along with other trophies. The final game is at Anfield against Wolves. Expecting lots of motion in that game, and I'm expecting it's one of those Liverpool performances where the shackles are free. I expect Salah to score a couple. Jota, even Darwin, I think, will get him in the act. It's going to be one of those games, high scoring as final day games are, with nothing to play for either team. And yeah, obviously Villa got Champions League, so nothing to worry about now. But now Newcastle, Chelsea, Tottenham fighting for those European places. They may all get them. We'll have to wait and see about that. Obviously, for Tottenham, unlucky and pretty devastating considering the expectations maybe they have the season, or lack of, who knows. With Ange coming in, missing out on Champions League, but for them, hopefully they can get a Europa League. Along with the other teams, then there's a Conference League spot in there for someone as well. So have to wait and see. And obviously, at the other side of the table at the bottom, Forest are away to Burnley, but again, I don't see Forest losing by 6 or 7 goals, and I don't see Luton winning by 6 or 7 goals. So Forest most likely safe. Obviously, maybe a difficult game for them with Burnley. Burnley already down, nothing much to play for apart from pride. But yeah, and Luton at Fulham. As mentioned before, Luton's last probably home game in the Premier League this time around. Who knows? They'll be maybe back. But yeah, obviously the key games are the City and Arsenal right now, and pretty much everything else has been sealed. The fate of many different teams. So yeah, very interesting. It'll be exciting to see. And we'll stick with football. You may have seen my video on my YouTube. I did my predictions for the Championship playoffs, and first 2 legs, both 0-0 draws. Yeah, what can you do? I mean, my predictions are still going to be there. Obviously, Thursday and Friday, the second legs 0-0, both into a 1-leg shootout. Really, obviously the extra time and penalties that could come if it's still a tie. But yeah, very interesting to see what's going to happen with that. And I still stick with my prediction of, if you missed the video, recommend you go watch it, but of Leeds securing promotion from the Championship this time around. But anyway, there are League 1 and League 2 playoff finals, however, at Wembley this weekend. On Saturday, we have Bolton against Oxford. both really good teams in this league. Obviously, Oxford started off really well in League One this year, dropped off a bit after the manager left. Let's get a new manager, but he's managed to get them to a playoff final. And Bolton in Everett, was it Everett? Whichever one you know who he is. Bolton done really well. Obviously, unlucky to miss the automatics, but for me, I said this at the start. I think Bolton have got the better team and deserved promotion candidates to go back up to the Championship after a long time for them and their fans. Also, on Sunday, we have the League 2 playoff final. We have Crawley Town against Crewe Alexandra. Arguably, from league positions, 2 upsets. Obviously, MK Dons in 3rd, Doncaster in 4th, both been knocked out respectively. Crawley playing some really good football, and Crewe managed to beat Doncaster on penalties. Crawley, really good football. I think it was 8-1 on aggregate at the end over MK Dons. An absolute smashing of them. And Crewe, for me, it's an interesting one. Crawley looked to play the best football over the playoffs games, but Crewe have been there and done it before. Playoff games over there the last 10 years or whatever. They've been in League One, and Crawley obviously playing good football. It's a tough one. I think this is going to be a closer game than I think Bolton Oxford maybe. I feel Bolton have the quality to win that game, whereas this I think it could be really tight. If I had to say one, I'll go Crewe. Maybe partly on league position, but also I think they got some of the players there who have won leagues before on promotions. Yeah, I'll go with Crewe. They've done it before, and I think they'll do it again this Sunday. So yeah, that is that. And now, onto the boxing. Obviously, there are huge fights going on this weekend, but first, we'll review last week's action. The biggest fight was the lightweight world title down in Australia. We had the vacant title fight between Vasyl Lomachenko and George Kambosos Jr. Lomachenko, former champion himself, same as Kambosos, obviously. But going into it, Lomachenko, heavy favourite, and yeah, he put a good performance in and won a dominant performance of the 11th round TKO of Kambosos Jr. Lomachenko showed his quality, as many people know he has, and the clear difference in quality and skill to Kambosos Jr. Don't get me wrong, Kambosos Jr. is a dog. He'll fight anyone, anywhere. He showed that. He's won world titles before, obviously beating Teofimo Lopez a couple of years ago. However, I think there is just a skill gap. I think maybe he got lucky in a bad TO night. However, he's fought the best of the best, and you've got to give it to him that. Probably should have lost to Maxi Hughes last time out, but that's boxing, I guess. A couple of robberies here and there. But yeah, he gave it his all, and what can you do against one of the best pound-for-pound fighters on the planet in Lomachenko? And Lomachenko wins the lightweight world title once again. And yeah, exciting fight, very exciting fights on the horizon for Lomachenko in the lightweight division. Obviously, there's many names, but the one, I think the main one, we want to see Lomachenko tank. Gervonta Davis against Vasyl Lomachenko would be, I'd take my money. That would just be an unbelievable fight. For his skill and technique, and the technician that Lomachenko is against another great technician and skilled fighter, Tank. But Tank carries that bit of extra power. Obviously, both smaller lightweights at that as well. So I think it'll be a very interesting fight. Do well pay-per-view wise, because it's 2 of the best fighters on the planet going at it, and what's not to like about that? Obviously, the other options are Shakur Stevenson, another lightweight world champion at the moment on the same promotion, so it could be easy to make, but I believe Shakur might be out of his promotional deal after his next fight that's coming up. So who knows if they can convince him to get that fight in-house done. And yeah, obviously I think Navarrete is fighting for a world title soon for the other lightweight world title. Will he come through that fight? Who knows? But that's another option. And obviously we have William Zepeda also in the running for, he's #1 contender in a couple. Let me just double check that. He's #1 contender in, I can't remember where I saw it. I believe it was 3 of the 4 governing bodies. Obviously put in Williams Payday put in a brilliant performance, a dominating performance against Maxi Hughes last time out, and he looks a real problem for a lot of the lightweights, I believe. And I think when he gets his chance against any of the champions, may have him coming through that, depending on who it is. But yeah, lightweight division, it's been on fire for a while, especially the American fighters, as in Lomachenko, obviously. But yeah, it's looking real good, and the future's looking bright for the lightweight division. And Vasyl Lomachenko's back, and hopefully he can get the big fights. Tank Davis is the one to make, and let's go. Also in the UK, the big title fight was Lauren Price defeated Jessica McCaskill in Britain, and 14th Welsh world champion, I believe it is, and the first female women's world champion from Wales. Lauren Price, obviously gold medal at the 2020 or 2021 Tokyo Olympics. I believe she's the first of the Olympians from Team GB to challenge for a world title, and she won. Dominating performance, won every round against Jessica McCaskill. McCaskill came and did what McCaskill does, makes it dirty, dogfight. It's how she's got to be a world champion. But Lauren Price, too slick, too skilled, too quick, and yeah, she looked great. Wasn't afraid to get down and dirty with McCaskill, and quality performance, won every round, and we have a new women's world champion in Britain. Obviously, there's big fights out there for her. On the same promotion as well, we have Tash Jonas. I think that's a fight to make. Maybe Tash has to rematch with Michaela Meyer. But either way, the winner of that, both fought in boxer before, and obviously Tash is a boxer fighter. Even if Michaela Meyer, I'm sure she's willing to come over and fight in boxer again. We could have Lauren Price versus the winner of that fight if they do it again, or just get Tasha Jonas straight in there. Some really good fights at welterweight in the women's division, and especially there's a couple in house, which makes them easy to make, considering boxer aren't the best friends with Matchroom, who have the other world champ Sandy Ryan. But yeah, that's interesting to see, and that was last weekend's boxing action. However, this week, we all know it's the big fight. It's Ring of Fire, Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk, undisputed heavyweight world title. The first undisputed heavyweight world title fight 25 years since 1999 when Lennox Lewis won it. And however, I'm afraid if you want me to hear me talk more about this, you have to head over to my YouTube channel. I've recently uploaded a video the other day with my predictions for the main event and some of the other fights, which there's some banging fights on there. Opetaya Bradis 2 for the Cruiserweight World title, Jay Cordina anti-Kakachi for the Super Featherweight World title, and we have a WBC Heavyweight World title eliminator between Cabile and Frank Sanchez. Banger fight, it's going to be a banger night. Cannot wait to enjoy it with a couple of beers Saturday night with my mates. And yeah, that's that. You have to go check that out to see my predictions. Yeah. And finally, we have the Imola Grand Prix this weekend in the F1. It's going to be very interesting, especially to see if Red Bull can fight back against McLaren's comeuppance at the Miami Grand Prix. Obviously, we had Lando Norris winning, Max second, Charles third, and yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I'm expecting Red Bull to come back very strong. Most likely a Max win again, because we see them so often, and was the McLaren upgrades that much so, or that they were better? They obviously can challenge, but we need to see that in qualifying. However, did the safety car help Lando? Obviously, but also Oscar's very good, got unlucky with the damage. Could have seen two McLarens up there challenging for the podium. Expecting Red Bull to come back fast with Max and Checo, but obviously we're in Italy. All the Ferrari fans will be out in force, so Ferrari will have the pressure on them to put in a good performance this weekend. So yeah, hopefully we see Ferrari up there as well, Red Bull and McLaren. Hope to get a good race. Yeah, exciting stuff, but obviously we don't know until practice what the times are going to be for the teams, how good each of them are looking. Obviously qualifying Saturday in the race Sunday, be watching that right before the final Prem game of the year. Be a good Sunday. Hopefully not too hungover from the Fury Usyk fight, obviously, and up for that. And yeah, the final day of Premier League season is Sunday. What a weekend of sport we've got, guys, and cannot wait. Obviously, kind of sad, the last day of the football season. However, altogether, with the Fury Usyk undisputed fight, we got the Grand Prix, we got League 1 and 2 playoff finals, and the final day of the Premier League season. Will it be Arsenal? Will it be Man City? We'll have to wait and see. But thank you very much for joining me today, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you soon on the next Radiant Sports podcast. Goodbye.